Okay, so for lesson, how it will work is that personally, I watch the videos. I don't find the videos very good. Okay, from where I came from, essentially, I don't find the teaching material that was provided sufficient for your P6 level. Okay, which means I am most likely always going to provide additional notes in class. Okay, and all these notes will be sent to you via email. So you don't need to do any copying, but you need to pay attention when I'm teaching. Okay, most of the time, my notes will be sufficient for what you need to learn for your PSLE. Of course, if your teacher adds on anything, then it's up to your teacher. But most of the time, my notes will be sufficient for the PSLE. But that doesn't mean you don't need to watch the video. You still need to watch the video. Am I clear, everybody? Okay, Lilian, I'm not seeing your face. I need you to on the video, please. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to start today's lesson. So today's lesson is the first lesson that all schools will be covering in P6. Okay, it's
My
basically
video's on.
Okay, yes, I see your face. Very good. Okay, so the first topic is basically talking about where we get energy from. I have a student who's called Jovita. May I know who's that?
I'm using my mother's phone for.
Okay, that's a bit confusing, but sure. Okay, so today's topic is going to be sources of energy for living things. Okay, we will talk about how living things get their energy and how basically they get energy from food sources. Okay, now the first and foremost thing I want to ask you all is this question. We all require energy for our day-to-day activities, okay? But how do we get this energy? Anybody has any idea? How do me and you, all living things get energy? How? What process gives us energy? How Xian? Don't know. Sunny? We learned this in P5. What process gives us energy? It's a process that takes place in our body that you have learned in P5. Starts with the word R.
Respire.
Respi, yes. Somebody wants to help her finish up the word? Yes, Hao Qian?
Maybe for a while. Respiration.
Yes, respiration. Everybody, you should be familiar with the word respiration. Okay? So, respiration is the process in which energy stored in food is broken down to release energy. Okay? So, how do the food that we eat become energy? Through the process of respiration. This is a very important process or concept that you need to learn. Who can tell me what is the chemical equation for respiration? What is needed for respiration? What gas is needed for respiration? Jia Ping.
Oxygen and carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide is needed for respiration or oxygen? Make up your mind. Only one gas is needed.
Oxygen.
Good. So oxygen plus food. Okay, so this is food. But in scientific terms, we will call it glucose. Okay, so oxygen plus food gives me, this is the important thing, energy. The byproducts are carbon dioxide and water. You need to memorize this, is super important. Okay? Now, Casey, can you tell me, where does respiration take place? Lillian or Casey, where does respiration take place? Does it take place in our nose, in our heart, in our brain, or in all cells of the body? In the lung. Lillian says in the lungs. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that respiration takes place in all parts, essentially all cells of the body. This is another common mistake that my students always make. They tell me that respiration takes place in the lungs. Breathing takes place in the lungs. Respiration takes place in all parts of the body because every cell in our body needs energy. So please remember, every single cell in the body, respiration takes place there. Okay? Why do you think we need energy for life processes? What are the life processes that require energy? Anybody has any idea? Name some life processes that require energy. Josiah?
I couldn't hear what you said.
I said, what are life processes that require energy?
Running,
Okay, so moving, good. What else? Movement,
sleeping,
growing. When we grow, we also need energy to repair damaged cells, to repair dead cells, and importantly for plants to photosynthesize. Okay, so these are all life processes. Am I clear? Are we clear? Josiah, may I know why it's so funny? Since lesson started, you have been laughing. Is this a comedy? Can you focus? Okay, good. Now, I'm going to move on. Everybody, please remember this slide on respiration is super, super important. Okay? Now, this is respiration. All right? For all living things, we respire. Okay? For all living things, for most living things, this comes from the food we eat. But for a particular group of living things, they can make their own food. Saini, can you tell me which group of living things can make their own food?
My name is not Saini.
Saini, right?
No, Sini.
Okay, Sini. Sini, for what group of living things can they make their own food?
Plants.
Good. Can you tell me what is the process in which plants make their own food?
Photosynthesis.
Good. Okay. Who can tell me what is needed for photosynthesis? Casey, name as many as you can.
carbon dioxide,
Okay, what else?
water,
Very good. What
light.
else? Okay, I just put sunlight, but light is good enough. What's the last one? A green pigment found in the plant. Anybody can help her? Chlorophyll, very good. So if I were to put this all together in an equation, okay, it will look like what? Hao Qian, can you help me? What plus what? What is the chemical equation for photosynthesis? You should know this. What plus what? Hao Qian? Use the things that Casey mentioned. What are the two things that she first mentioned?
Carbon dioxide and water.
Okay, so everybody take note. CO2 plus water. In the presence of Hao Qian, what must I have?
Sunlight
And what's the other thing?
and chlorophyll.
Good. What will it give me, Hao Qian?
Sugar
Very good. What gas is released?
and oxygen.
Fantastic. Okay, so this is the chemical equation for photosynthesis. So this sugar is otherwise known as glucose. Everybody, are we clear? You need to know this photosynthesis chemical equation. Okay, so photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of the plant where the green pigments are. All right, so let's move on. Let's now recap the two processes that we have learned. Okay, and take note, plants will undergo these two processes. Okay, so what is the first process that we learned that plants undergo, Josiah?
What is it? Photosynthesis.
Good. Can you tell me what is the chemical equation for photosynthesis, Josiah? What is the things that are needed for photosynthesis?
Light,
Okay.
carbon dioxide,
So we write carbon dioxide here. What is the second thing? Plus what? Light is here on top of the arrow. But the two key ingredients, what is it? Starts with W. We mentioned this just now.
water,
Very good. Okay, carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light and the green pigment chlorophyll.
Yeah.
Josiah, what does it give me?
Make
What do plants make during photosynthesis?
food for themselves.
Yes, food, right? So one of the products is food or sugar. Okay, if you write food, it's fine as well. What is the gas that is produced, Josiah?
Oxygen.
Good. Josiah, I need you to memorize this. I will test you next week. Okay? Can you sit upright? You look like you're watching a movie. Do I look like an actress to you? No, right? Can you sit upright, please? Okay. Lillian, can you tell me what is the other process that plants go through?
Respiration.
Very good. Can you tell me what is the chemical formula for respiration? Fine. What gas
Sugar.
is needed? Okay, we have
Sugar.
food or sugar. Good. Plus,
Oxygen.
fantastic. What does it give me?
Energy.
Very good. This is the first important result or byproduct, or product of respiration. What else does it give me, Lillian?
Carbon dioxide plus water.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very proud of you. Okay, so please remember that plants go through these two processes. Living things, Jiaping, we go through only which process? I mean, not living things, human beings and animals. Only which process?
Respiration.
Yes. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next part of the slides. Okay, I have a question here. Okay, where does, okay, as you know, look at the processes that the plant undergo. They have to take in carbon dioxide and they have to give out oxygen for photosynthesis. For respiration, they have to take in oxygen and they have to give out carbon dioxide. So where do you think these gases enter and exit the plant?
The tiny openings of the leaves.
On top or at the bottom?
On top.
Are you sure it's on top? Okay, so what Lillian said is correct. What are the tiny openings called? Anybody has any idea? Casey? Starts with S.
Stomata.
Very good. Stomata. Stomata are actually found on and below the leaves, but mostly on the underside. Okay, I don't know who told you mostly on top. It's mostly on the underside of leaves. Okay, so essentially those stomata are the nostrils of the plant. Okay, like our nostrils, that's the nostrils of the plant. Clear? Okay, so as you can see this picture, okay, let's focus on the top part first. Photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight. Okay, I take in carbon dioxide. I give out oxygen. This is photosynthesis. Okay, we have respiration that takes place in the morning and at night. We take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide and water. So this is respiration. Now, let's summarize this. Okay, we have a table here. So, Jiaping, can you tell me? Respiration takes place night and day or only in the night or day?
Night and day.